Hey guys, how you doing? This is Fred Reyes, and today we have Leonel Ceballos here in the show, the Fred Reyes Show, guys. Thank you so much for viewing. Thank you for all the subscribers, guys. Exciting news about real estate and what is going on in today's market, Leo. What do you think?
A lot of stuff is going on. First of all, thank you
for
inviting me here to your show. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a long time coming.
Oh man, yeah.
You and I have been friends for a very long time, and been talking about doing something like this. So I'm very glad that
I'm
we're
excited,
able to do
man.
it today.
This could be great. And it's funny because we were talking earlier off camera, and how did you get started in this business? What got you motivated to become?
So most people don't know, including my clients, don't know that before I was a realtor. Actually, my training, I'm a behavioral specialist by trade.
Mm-hmm.
I work for the Department of Mental Health in the state of California. I went to school at Metropolitan State Hospital in the city of Norwalk, and I did that for 10 years.
Wow.
I worked with the, That's what I did. That was my career for 10 years.
Wow.
I work in various disciplines in mental health, and it gave me an opportunity certainly to launch my career into real estate. But in '97, there was HMOs came around, and they cut my pay by 30%, and they also cut my patient benefits by 30%. And I was married at the time.
Wow.
I had 2 kids, and we each had a car. My ex-wife and I had a new car, and there was just no way I could make it work.
Wow.
So there was somebody told me, in real estate, the hours are very flexible, and the earning has no ceiling. Of course, now I know that it has no floor either.
Right.
But I had a great time. I went and got my license, and I literally led my nursing license. Even my CPR license expired, and I went full blown into real estate full time, and I never looked back. And it's given me the most amazing challenges and the most amazing happiness.
And that's important you say full time, because I see a lot of people that get their license, they're excited, and all of a sudden they only go for a couple, say, months or years, not even a year. They won't even make a year. And it's tough because people think that, hey, I jump into real estate, hey, let's go make it happen. And you know what, guys, it is not that easy, right?
And thank you for bringing that up. I decided from the get-go that it was going to be a career, that this was going to be something that I was going to be successful at. And no, it wasn't easy. I got my license, and I went to a very, very extensive training for 6 months. And the one thing I told you that I can tell you is that my mentors made me write an offer every single day, and then take a listing every single day, and different programs, different terms, just so I could understand it.
Correct.
Luckily for me, I did have results fairly early in my career. I think I sold my first condo in the first month. Wow. And I had great mentors. That's why I did it. Yeah. I can say I didn't do it by myself, but I had great people that helped me and led me into a successful closing.
And that's really good you said that, because in this business you need good mentors, and sometimes we gotta be open minded, because even being the type of guy, it's not easy. We have a lot of competition. You gotta do things different. And for me, it's really being open minded. I get in arguments with my boss all the time. It's kind of funny because it's like he's my mentor, right? And I always say, man. And I want to run my own, like a horse, we're talking about horses, and he said, that's another thing. And sometimes you want to run this way, but no, it's why, like they always say, why reinvent the wheel?
Right. It's very important that if you decided to go into this career, is what it is, it's a career. Correct. And that you treat it as such. That means that just because you are commission-based, you have to set up early healthy habits. You show up on time, and you leave at a certain time, and the name of the game, as we know, is lead generation. If you're not lead generating, if you are not taught lead generation from the beginning, that's how a lot of the new agents don't succeed, because they are very well versed on the online lead generation, but the online lead generation has to lead to a handshake, in an appointment setting. If you're not getting enough appointments, it's going to be very hard for you to stay in the long haul.
Correct. It's like at the end, it's like us. We have to go out there and get more agents, build rapport with people, and sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. I remember when I first started as well. It's just like you guys.
Right.
I went out there for 6 months, and I'm like, "What is this ever going to happen?"
Right.
And I was getting frustrated, and finally it just hit, and that was like my biggest career. Like you said, though, it's very important because you got to think career. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I think that's a good thing to talk about career, and that's changed your mindset, correct?
it totally changes your mindset because you got to burn your ships.
Yeah.
If you have something to fall, behind on that, that you're saying, okay, maybe I don't have to do it full time. Maybe I don't have to do that open house. I still have enough in my bank account. Those are excuses. The bottom line is that if you decided to make this a career, the customer serves a professional that is going to take care of them as such. Right. And so when you give that pledge that you're going to take care of them, you have to have that professionalism and build that experience. If you don't have it in the beginning, attach yourself to somebody that has that experience that can lead you into representing that client successfully, professionally, and ethically.
Yep. And that's very key, guys. And that's why it's so important, to educate yourself in any kind of business. I mean, even, there's a lot of young kids now that know social media.
Right.
And social media is huge. For me, it's very big in this business because you know what? We have to work smarter, not harder.
Correct.
Right. But if you have a mentor like Leo and it's going to train you from the beginning, because that's another thing too. It's finding the person that is going to take you from the beginning and guide you, because in anything you do, right?
I've been blessed that after the 4th year of working with Bruce Mulhern and the Mulhern organization, I was asked to mentor a lot of the new agents. They had 3 or 4 real estate schools, so obviously they were producing a lot of new agents. And by that time, I had closed enough transactions. I had got enough experience that they thought, and I'm glad they did, they gave me an opportunity to become a mentor. And as a result of that, I became a mentor on a monthly basis. I had 35 agents that I was teaching how to interview a client, how to pre-qualify a client, how to show properties properly. I actually teach a class which I never heard anybody teach it, and I go into a vacant property and I teach people basically I'll become the seller, or I'll become the buyer, and you become the agent and show me the clients. And the purpose of this exercise is to get you trained to you don't get in the kitchen and say this is the kitchen. You ask them, what do you how do you see yourself? How do you see your family cooking in this kitchen? What memories would you like to create?
Project
what level of importance does this particular part of the house have for your family? And see if you're leading them to the right way. So there's a process. There's a way to the things. And the same things for listing presentation. I personally was very afraid to take listing presentations. Matter of fact, I used to refer to listings. If you can believe that.
Wow. And a lot of agents can't even get a listing. I was kidding, but it's true.
But luckily for me, in the office that I was at, I was one of the few agents that was bilingual, and a lot of the top agents did not speak Spanish, and I did. So at one point they asked me to translate their listings. And that's how I learned to become an amazing listing agent, because they were amazing listing agents, and I used to literally translate everything for them on an everyday basis. They were from different languages, and it was very important. It was in the city of Norwalk, most of them, Artesia, Lakewood, and Bellflower. And that really set me apart. That really propelled my career, learning how they spoke.
So learning Spanish, guys, key. No, but it helps, right? In this business.
Oh, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. I've had transactions from different languages, and I've always hired an agent that would help me partner up in this transaction, just from the fact that we needed to represent that client adequately.
And that's key. You say that, partner up. I mean, in other words, a lot of agents, man, they want to hold. I used to remember there's a saying in Spanish, and it's kind of like, don't be like the right, don't look back,
Right.
But sometimes in this business, you have to partner with somebody because they might have an open house, they might have a listing. Then, hey, like you said, starting as a new agent, you want to go do that open house. That's how a lot of agents get busy, right? I mean, you got to. In other words, you can't just sit at home and expect it to come,
I can tell you, my first open house, it wasn't even my open house. It was another agent's open house. And what he did, he's went in the open house, and I went and passed out flyers, 200 flyers. And that's what he told me to do. And that's how we got clients into the open house. We didn't have social media. We have beepers. That was the closest we had to social media. We got beepers. And so that was barely part of communication, but it was the flyers. It was knocking on somebody's door and saying, we're going to have an open house at XYZ property. Is this much? Would you come over? Or, how you like to choose your neighbor. This was the stuff that I was taught.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's what's going on. I see now, and the business is going back to the basics,
It always the basics. It doesn't matter. I've got an opportunity. I have 3 kids, and 2 of my oldest kids play basketball, and I got an opportunity to coach basketball for 10 years. And the basics, the fundamentals, these are what creates a transaction. If at any point I personally and there have been a few, I hit a dry spell in my production, I always go back to basics. Making the phone calls. What am I saying? What am I doing? How am I showing up? How am I looking professionally? I think that's very important.
Correct.
Is that as a professional, you have to be that professional. Correct. And so the basics, to answer your question, will take you out of any dry spell that you will have in your production.
Wow, that's awesome, guys. See, guys, that's why you got to pick Leonel Ceballos, especially in the Lakewood area. Obviously, you sell everywhere, but it's very exciting to have you on the show. I mean, I want Leo back. I mean, I want him to come back because, guys, this is key. We got to talk about the true meaning about being in real estate. A lot of people think, hey, I'm gonna get in real estate, drive my nice car. Well, it takes a lot of dedicated work, and that's why you got to reach out to Leo. His number's gonna be down here below. And obviously, if you're in the Lakewood area, you're thinking of jumping into another career, just give him a call. It's very simple like that, guys. So, I mean, would that be okay with you? They just call you and say,
that would be excellent. My number will appear on the screen. It's 714-269-7752. My website is leonelceballos.com. Very simple. You're welcome to look me up, and I will have an opportunity, irrespective of what you decide to stay or not, to have an opportunity to meet you.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much, Leo, for having you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have him back, guys. So stay tuned for our next show, guys. Awesome. Thank you much, and much love. See you guys soon. Fred Ray Show.